It's a follow-up video on my first Even Embers pellet stove review and overview from about March or so. So it's about 6 months, maybe a little bit more than 6 months that I've updated. As you can see, I bought the cover for it, and it goes all the way and covers everything. Totally suggested you get the proper cover. It actually fits really snugly around the bin back here. And I'll show you when I take the cover off, but that's really important. It goes almost all the way down to the bottom here. I bought the tool specifically for it, which is handy. You need something that's kind of pointy in order to free up some stuff if needed. So, as you can see, it's really handy. Let me take the cover off, and I will show you what it looks like underneath and give you my updates. Okay, so here it is with the cover off. I have not really been using this all that much in the last few months or so, because obviously it's been summertime and you really don't need a whole lot of heat in the summertime. If I do use something, I use the propane stove. What's up, buddy? I use the propane stove, I use the propane fire pit, and that actually works really good. I usually just sit here on the couch and watch the TV until it gets a little bit too chilly out. Gives you good ambiance. That might be another video, but we are reviewing this today. So, some updates. Yes, it works well. I totally suggest it, especially if you can get one on sale. I think in the first video I told you exactly how much it is. But it's on sale, and it was the floor model. However, some things that might bother you. You're going to get some surface rust here. Let's get in a little close. You see the surface rust, and you know, it was covered the whole time. It was only left in the rain once or twice, and this didn't happen after that. I mean, it's got a coating on it, so it's really kind of, again, surface rust. It's not anything major. Another thing, let me look inside. I did do a test burn a couple days ago. You'll see some, again, surface rust on the back here on the inside. That might not be preventable, to be honest with you. So, and it's mostly, as you can see, in the hot areas. I bought this. This is a just a magnet thermometer up here. It just gives me an indicator of how hot it is. It usually gets up, this part usually gets up to about 600 or so, pretty consistently right here. So that's the normal full heat, if you will, for this. And you get basically stuff around the bottom which you have to clean out. I just take a hand vacuum and I just suck up all that stuff here. Try to clean it up when you can. Don't leave it there because it just attracts moisture. Then on the bottom you can see there's just a little bit of surface dirt. It's actually not rust. A little rust here in the front. And as you can see, the ash is very, very fine. It's almost like talcum powder. And then this ash is really, yeah, this is just the pellets just burning up. So it's very, very fine, and it's really not a lot of rust at all. Sorry. It's very, very fine, and it's not a lot of ash at all. So you do need to empty it out once every 2 burns. If the burns are 4 hours, let's say, I would say empty it out, or every time. That's even better. Now, some mistakes that I've done. Oh, before I go to the mistakes, make sure that this is just floating in here, and just make sure that this shield, this is just a heat shield to make sure this doesn't get hot, basically is in place, because especially if you move it around, this will shift. But there's your little hopper, and then you lift this up and it just opens up the chute. Okay, what you have to do every now and then, check this, because if you discover that this fire gets low, it's probably because these get jammed up, and you just kind of like hit it a couple times on the side, or maybe just put your hand in there and shuffle around, and it'll go down to the chute. One mistake that I did way back in the spring was I actually left the chute open, and not really on purpose, but and then I left in. Let me get in here. then it shows, it comes down here and it fills up with the pellets. And I'll show you that in a night video later on. And I left that there, and it rained, right? And sometimes what you can do is you could just take a cover or something, put it here, and that prevents water, because the back of it, let me see if I go down here, see the back of it? It's actually open back here, so the water can run down there in those slats, which is really just the back behind that grate right there. I don't know if you can see, you just barely see the grates back here. Let me point to it, back there. So that water gets in there, and it made all these pellets waterlogged. These pellets get wet, they turn into oatmeal, basically, and I had to dig it all out. I'm really, I mean, it was a big pain in the ass having to do it with this. So I'm really paranoid about keeping this dry, this part and the pellets, and keeping the pellets basically dry, and the back part of here covered. Don't want to get those pellets wet. However, I left the pellets in here probably all summer, in the spring and summer, and it's September, end of September now, and the pellets were fine. So they were okay here, and they were burned up fairly well. So as long as you keep this covered, I think you're okay, and you cover up this back area, you're okay. So other than that, do a little bit of surface rust, a little bit of pro tips here. I think it works out pretty well for the price that I paid. Pellets cost about, for a big 40-pound bag, about $7 at Tractor Supply. I'm here in New Jersey, and you could run 8 to 12 hours on one bag, you know, probably if we're running full blast, about, or so. You could do a half a bag during the same time if you turn this down, where you can see the way you do this swings down, and it basically covers up, so you're not burning this part up here. You're only burning the lower part that's in the grate, right? Otherwise, it would be up like that, and this whole area would be burning, and the fire really, really goes up to here, you know. Second thing, that other than the water, you got the surface rust, which honestly, I really don't even think you can do anything about it, to be honest with you, and it really doesn't bother me. I'm okay with it. It doesn't affect the usage or whatever. If there's no holes or anything, again, it's very, and I know what, like the cancerous rust and surface rust looks like, so this is just, I'm just going to keep an eye on it, make sure it's okay. But the second thing is you can see here, and on the sides, if you burn this thing, and it's not sealed and closed all the way, right? You're supposed to burn it with this door closed. And every now and then when I fool with it, you have to open it up and stuff like that, like especially if I'm trying to pull with the tool. I'll just sit there and just scrape down and pull some of the pellets out. If I do that, I have to open it, and then it just tends to get like this sooted up, on the sides here. I mean, normally it would be clear, honestly, and it seems to happen in the same spots, in here in the front, here, and over there on the bottom. You can see where it's black, it's supposed to be clear. How do you resolve that? You just take a paper towel and get a little bit wet and just wipe it down, and it just lifts all that stuff up, and that's nice and clear. Alright, and that's really about it. I mean, I'm kind of happy with it. I mean, right now, I moved it. It was over there between those two chairs. And normally in the fall I take the canopy down. This is just for a sunshade, but it was over there, and I usually sat around that and basically let that run. Maybe I might do that later on during the winter time, just so you can sit out here a little bit more. But I moved it over here, right? It's because it's right by the hot tub. So especially when it's very cold out, you could have the hot tub, and you could be in the hot tub. Have this right here running on low, with that little flap down running on low, and it's puts out some heat, which is nice. And then you can be in here, and then when you get out of the hot tub, especially if it's like 30 degrees out, I mean, I don't know, I don't like it. I'm hating life when that happens. It's the worst, getting out of a hot tub and it's very, very cold. Even if I'm kind of a baby like that, when it's like 40, 45 degrees, I'm still cold. So with this here, it really does help. I think, and it kind of puts out a nice like light, and that's another reason why I liked it. Getting reference in the first video, has 3 windows, right? You can actually have basically 180 degrees and still see and feel the heat coming from this thing, which is nice. So I like that. I do. And another thing I want to show you, you see I have the lights here, right? And it's probably about 24 inches or so, you know, between here and the lights. And I had a concern about that. Same thing when I was over there. It really doesn't get hot at all. I mean, you can put your hand here and it's just about halfway and you barely feel it warm, and when this thing is going full blast. So not a concern at all. The only issue that I have is when you when this is going full blast, you'll get little embers coming up here, and they'll try to come through this grate, and sometimes they do, or they come out the back here because there's back holes for I guess excess ventilation and excess you know, exhaust, if you will. So I'm sure there's a reason for it. Anyway, that's my follow-up. Happy so far, and I hope you liked the video. So totally suggested. Even the smaller ones and the larger ones. There's a smaller version than this, and there's a larger version of this, which has a shorter stack. I think it would serve you well. The fuel isn't expensive. It's easy to light. I just used a little bit of lighter fluid just to get it started, and it works really well. It's easier to light. I think it's a better fire than the propane. I think it's cheaper than the propane, although it could be argued. I haven't done an exhaustive analysis of it, whether one is cheaper than the other. I like the fire for this a little bit better. It's certainly hotter. This is definitely hotter than a propane, you know, fire table, for example. Yeah, no. I mean, that gets warm, hot or warm. This gets like hot or like magma hot. All right, so I'm going to turn this off here, and then I'll switch to a night burn, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, this is it lit on low at night. You can see it's nighttime out, and right behind me is the hot tub. And I'll just show you an example of how I use it. So if you're in the hot tub and you're watching TV, for example, right? You get out, and it's very cold, although today it's not very cold. It's probably about 65, 70 degrees out, so it's not cold at all. You can come out here, and this can be burning again on low, which really doesn't use very much pellets at all. And you can dress or undress and dry off, for example. This puts out a decent amount of heat. It's not terrible, especially when it's on low. And you can see inside there the little fins are down. Right behind it, see the deck on the bottom. Behind it is the hot tub. That's how I use it. TV, Apple TV over here. That's the deck. Fire pit on. Come from a different perspective. You see from the side, then clean off the sides, just so you can see what the difference is if you don't clean the sides off. See how it's like a little smudged. But if you look down here, I wiped that down. I just took a wet paper towel and I just wiped it down, and you can see it's pretty clean. But you still see some of the smudges where I wiped it, and you can see on the side here. But again, that's why I bought it. It's because you have the side windows, which I thought was very cool. So you can potentially just sit around it on 180 degrees and still enjoy the fire. Anyway, this is how I use it. And, hope it gives you some ideas. Thank you.